Hey guys, it's Sash, and this is going to be my short guide of all the spells in Clash Royale. Spell cards are extremely important because they have the ability to give you big profits in Elixir. Spell cards are also, in my opinion, the most skill-based cards because unlike troops and defensive buildings, the precise timing and placement of these spells can quickly overturn a battle. So in this guide, I'm going to go over all of those spells and show you guys the proper way to use them. First is the Arrows card. Arrows are possibly the most commonly used card in the game, and it has the right to be as it can counter many big threats and provide you with a great Elixir profit. Not only that, the thing I like most about the Arrows card is its very large radius. No other damage inflicting card has a bigger radius than the Arrows card. This gives you opportunity to gain more value out of the card because, after all, the objective of a battle is to get as much value as you can by using the least needed elixir. For example, the Arrows card can one-shot a minion horde, which will give you a 2 elixir profit. But a smart player would look to gain even greater value. What a smart player will do is, instead of quickly killing the minion horde with arrows, he'll be patient because he already knows that he can take out the minion horde at any time with his arrow card. So what he'll do is wait and see if his opponent is going to deploy another card, and the chances are he will. So if he deploys his spear goblins, then you can use the arrows card to take out the minions and the spear goblins at the same time and instead gain a whopping 4 elixir in profit. Now, say your opponent instead sends in his baby dragon with the minions. Then you're gonna still win big against his combo. How? Well, all you have to do is use the arrows to kill the minion horde and weaken the baby dragon at the same time. The minions are gone, so your arena tower can now focus on targeting the baby dragon. The baby dragon is pretty slow, so your arena tower will be able to single-handedly take out the weakened baby dragon without taking much damage. This way, you're going to be able to obtain an insane 6 elixir lead while only taking a few HP of damage onto your arena tower. This is how you win. Just like the arrows card, the fireball card is another high value spell card. However, I always see people using this card the wrong way. The best use of the fireball is as a defense. Instead of just dropping it onto an arena tower just to weaken the tower a little, you should instead be focusing on obtaining elixir profit from it. For example, if someone sends in barbarians, then you can drop the fireball onto all of those barbarians and weaken them to the point where your arena towers can just one-shot all of them quickly and you gain the 1 elixir profit. But like the example I used before with the arrows card, a smart player won't just quickly fireball a group of barbarians. He's gonna instead look to obtain even more value. He's gonna wait for his opponent to send in a support troop behind the barbarians because that's what most people do. So if his opponent sends in archers behind the barbarians, now he can kill both the barbarians and archers at the same time and obtain a 4 elixir profit. This is how you win games. Now, one important thing to know is that if the level of your fireball is greater than a wizard or musketeer, then it will one-shot them. But if the wizard or musketeer's level is same or higher than the fireball, then they won't die from the fireball. This is important because it's not always a good idea to fireball a wizard if you can't kill him in one shot. Instead, it's better to fireball him with another troop to obtain more value. I also see a lot of people using fireball onto arena towers and at the same time also on a wizard or witch. While that is a decent value move, it's not a great move because the wizard or witch is still alive. So all your opponent has to do now is place a tanky troop ahead of them and he'll quickly have the advantage because you're gonna have a hard time finishing off the weakened witch or wizard. The lightning spell is one of my favorite cards because of just how powerful it is, and it can completely destroy some of the most annoying decks to play against, such as the spawner decks, the hut spammers, and the turtle decks that basically combine their expo or mortar with a bunch of defenses. The lightning spell can quickly destroy all of them together, and it's just surprising to me that very few people use this card. The lightning spell can target up to 3 enemy troops or buildings with the highest HP. So to effectively use this card to obtain high value, your goal should be to use it on 3 things with high HP at once. For example, If your opponent places an Expo or an Infernal Tower with the Wizard, then simply using the lightning spell can severely weaken or kill all of the threats at once, and that will basically grant you an insane 10 elixir profit, and that can easily mean that you won the battle if you use that 10 elixir advantage properly. Another example is using it on the Goblin Hut along with the Barbarian Hut and the Tombstone, then that can also quickly grant you a 9 elixir in profit. The lightning spell costs 6 elixir, but it's just so easy to obtain value with it when you use it properly to kill multiple threats at once. The rocket card is similar to the lightning spell as both cards cost 6 elixir to use, but the rocket card does significantly greater damage. But the main difference is that the rocket has a much smaller radius, only 2 tile radius compared to the lightning's 3.5 tile. The rocket is definitely one of the most skill-based cards in the game because of this. You need to master ways in which you can utilize it by timing the deployment and speed of certain troops, have them clumped up, and at the same time blast them with the rocket. The rocket is also the best counter to Expo decks and defenses to shield Expo. Many people believe that the Rage spell is underrated, but in my opinion the Rage spell just isn't as good as it should be. It's a card that Supercell really needs to buff. I think raising the cost of the card to 4 elixir instead of 3 and increasing the movement of troops and attack speed by 50% instead will make this card a much more appealing card to play with. Only a 35% boost really isn't much at the cost of 3 elixir, and you need to take into account that the Rage spell is utterly useless for defense. Unlike other spell cards such as Free Spell that can be used for both offense and defense, you just can't use Rage spell for defense. So basically it's a defensive liability and it's not that good, and it also takes up one of your precious card slots. Keep in mind that you only carry 8 slots. Still, I might be critical about this card, but after a lot of tests with it, I just found it to be useless when the Free Spell is just so much better. However, the Rage Spell is still a decent card for aggressively heavy offense, high risk, high reward decks. For example, if you're using the Rage Spell with a P.E.K.K.A combined with a bunch of splash attackers, that's a pretty good idea because of how slow the P.E.K.K.A is and how easily he can be distracted. Another great idea is to use a deck with the Elixir Collector and load up on Elixir, gain a big Elixir lead, and then finish off your opponent with a powerful combination of high Elixir troops with the Rage spell. The Free Spell is one of the scariest spell cards to deal with. What I like the most about the Free Spell is that you can use it on both offense and defense. It also is a very skill-based card because you need to be able to properly time and place the spell. Your goal is to freeze as many troops or buildings as you can with the 3 tile radius of the Free Spell. If you can freeze a bunch of troops coming onto your side of the field and use a cheap 2 elixir card such as the Goblins, then you can quickly kill all the big threats. For example, if your opponent sends in the Hog Rider and the Prince together, all you have to do is properly place that Free Spell, freezing both of them together, and place your Goblins to quickly kill them while your Arena Tower also helps them on defense. Or you can use it on offense by sending in your Hog Rider and use the Free Spell to freeze the enemy attacking troops and the Arena Tower at the same time, allowing your Hog Rider to do a massive amount of damage while your opponent just watches. The best way to avoid Free Spell is to spread out your troops as much as you can. Don't deploy next to an Arena Tower because you're just allowing your opponent to just freeze your tower and the troops together. And always, I mean always, try to avoid clumping all your troops together because this not only makes it easy to freeze, but also makes it easy to fireball all your troops together. So yeah, clumping is always a bad idea. Zap used to be a pretty useless card since arrows were just overall much better, but now with the 1-second stun effect to paralyze your opponent's troop, it makes the Zap spell a more enticing option for many decks. The best use of the Zap spell, in my opinion, is to kill those goblins and skeletons, but also deal surrounding damage to other troops and also stun them. This is the best way to get value out of this card. It may even be a very good idea to use the Zap spell instead of arrows if you're using the Hog Rider or the Balloon, because that 1-second stun can allow your Hog Rider or Balloon to get an extra shot at the tower. The Mirror card is a very fun card to play with, but for competitive play, I'm not a big fan of it because it really hurts you on defense and it doesn't really help you much on offense either. Sure, you're getting a small boost to the level of your previously used card, but you're paying 1 more elixir. I've been playing with the Mirror card for a very long time as it was my first epic card that I was able to level up to level 3. but I really never had much success with it because playing 2 of the same cards at once really isn't that good. For example, say you dropped a Prince, then you used a mirror card and created another Prince. That costs 11 elixir to do, but your opponent simply counters your Princes with Barbarians, quickly putting you on a 5 elixir deficit. Not only that, you guys have to remember that card slots are important. So when you have the mirror card in your hand, it's like you have 3 options instead of 4 because the mirror is simply a card you already have in your hand but with 1 greater elixir cost. So yeah, it's a fun card but not a very good card for competitive play. The poison spell is one of the deadliest spells in the game. It can shut down those HUD spammer decks and decks with lots of low HP cards. I also often see this card being misused, as many times it's better to use this card on your side of the field and not your opponent's. Why? Because of the arena tower on defense. By slowing down troops on your side and also killing them, you can win big elixir trade-offs and attack your opponent back hard on offense. The poison card is definitely one of the cards at the top of my best cards list. So hope you guys learned a lot. This guy took me a long time to make, so hope you guys appreciate it. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to have a lot more of these great Clash Royale content. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys again soon. Later.